does one divide an orange equally without cutting it in half? Imagine this story. Two girls come home from school. Their mother finds them arguing over one orange sitting on the kitchen bench. The argument is fierce and the mother just doesn't have time to deal with it. She grabs the kitchen knife, slams it right down the middle, very careful to make sure that those equal halves are perfectly equal, and hands one to one daughter and the other to the other. There, solved. Off you go now. But the argument escalates. One starts crying, the other one starts crying, and the mother is like not understanding what is going on. So, what's the trouble, Bessie? She says to the youngest one. And she says, but Mum, I needed the orange because I needed to take the peel right off all the way around to try and get it into the longest strand possible because it's a competition in my class tomorrow. And then she turns to the other one who's wailing even louder, Susie, and she says, Mum, I needed to have every one of those seeds and now you've cut right through 5 of them and I'm not going to win the competition at school. Imagine if the mother had stopped before grabbing the knife and shoving it right down the middle of that orange and asked each one of them what they needed from the orange first. It could have been a complete win-win. This positive problem solving is it an impossible dream? I think this is the very crux of what we're talking about. Switching our imposed ideas of how a case, when its facts come into us, will ultimately be decided by a court that we just discussed 5% of perhaps the most dysfunctional cases that are heard produce a precedent, and we want to apply it to the 95% of families that can actually probably live their life and resolve their differences themselves. And we've just made a problem bigger when if we could just encourage a conversation to ask the Bessies and the Susies what part of the orange they're really needing and wanting, and talking about matters that are beyond just the legal framework.